Hey there, everybody. Didn't realize it till I got to looking on the channel, and it's actually been about 2 weeks since we gave you a pumpkin update. Doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it apparently has. And a lot's happened, so we got a couple things to cover, and we'll show you the overall growth and improvement on the pumpkin plant. So let's get into that. So right off, as you can see, the plant has gotten a lot bigger. Looking good and healthy, not really got much damage on the leaves from anything yet. I have had a couple of, probably, I'm thinking they're squash beetles, nibbling on my vines. I've only had to take off one leaf so far. Also, didn't get time to till up the dirt. I didn't have access to anything before this thing really got to sprawling out. So what I did was grab some cardboard sheets from work. Those just come in on pallets, and I placed them down to make a barrier between the plant and the grass so I don't have to fight that. And then I've just went through and used soil to start burying nodes. Some of these are a little more established than others, but it seems to be working pretty well. The bad thing is it is pushing out beyond some of the cardboard there. But even with kind of some of those, what I would say, drawbacks, because I would like to have this thing buried. I mean, it's pretty good size. About a week ago, I measured it from over here all the way to about there, and it was 16 feet. And I'd say it's probably put on another 3 to 4, so it's probably at 19 to 20 feet along the main vine, running all the way out to here. And as you can see right there, we got a bloom, and we've actually had a couple blooms already. This one just opened up late last night or this morning, and unfortunately I don't have any male flowers to pollinate it with. And that's kind of been my biggest issue. My female flowers have bloomed, and then there's no male flowers there to pollinate. I got kind of lucky with this one. And the only way I was able to get this pumpkin fertilized was that I have another plant. It's on the other side of the yard, and it had a male flower that I used on it. It really wasn't what I wanted to do. And then the very next day, I had a male flower off of this plant bloom, and I went ahead and tried to use it to fertilize. I don't know which one actually got it done, but that one there seems to be started. My next issue with this pumpkin, if I keep it, I have it here just so I do have one fertilized, is that if this pumpkin is what I actually end up growing, which only time will show, I'm going to have to move him to where he's up off that wet soil and cardboard right there. Have to build him up. And that's going to be a little bit tough because of how it's oriented there, right there at the junction of the secondary vine here, and then right off that main vine. So I fertilized him just so I would have a pumpkin, but ultimately, right now, he's not my optimal pumpkin that I want to keep on this plant. I was honestly really hoping maybe this one would turn out to where, it would be fertilized. And I know that there's another one coming out here on the main vine. And I got a couple others on secondaries over there. And then a few along here on this plant, and even here and here. So, being my first time, this is where my noviceness, I guess you would say, comes into effect, because I really don't know which pumpkin to pick. I just know that I need one of them to be oriented in a way so that it kind of moves off the vine, kind of like a 90-degree angle. And I know that I'm going to have to raise it up on a bed of sand and I don't want it too oriented or too tight to the ground wherever is closest to it, so it don't break the vine as it grows. So trying to figure that out. I think I've even got, yep, I got another one right here that will be coming along. I did trim off all the pumpkin blooms on the back side, and that's because to access my yard, it's a lot easier, more open to go this way than it is right there at the fence. So I knew I definitely wanted it to be something off here. I just don't know if I want it to be off one of these secondaries or off the main vine. I always kind of assumed that the main vine was probably what we should do. So if you're a little more knowledgeable than me and you have some advice, I'd very much appreciate it if you'd leave me a comment down below, just so I could get an idea. I've gotten some forums and groups, Facebook pages, read and asked questions, and they've been fairly helpful. But I've also been met with some rude comments because, as we all know, this is just some Walmart seeds, but I seem to be doing fairly decent with it, so maybe just got a little bit lucky on that. Well, most definitely got lucky on that. But right now, this is the update on the pumpkin. I've been fertilizing. Need to get some more soil so I can get more of those vines covered. Definitely get some roots going in. And then we'll see. Hopefully we can get a different pumpkin to start growing on this plant. If I didn't mention a second ago, I may have. I did try and train these vines a little bit to where I got the main vine here running out away, and then this secondary vine kind of coming off, trying to V away from it. Definitely need to probably move this guy back sooner than later, just so he can get oriented away from it, if this is how we end up going. But for right now, this is where we are. Another thing I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to get a couple more cardboard sheets to put down, just to keep some of those vines where they can be rooted. They'll punch right through that cardboard, the roots that come off the vine, so they'll get that nutrients from where they're being buried, but then they can punch through that cardboard that's suppressing the grass and keep on going down into the soil. So that's my main reason for doing that. I also got to get a shade cloth for that pumpkin if that is the direction we end up going. Gonna do some more research, of course, try and pick out what my best option is, but right now it's my only option. So if you got any more advice, if you're watching this, you're a little more knowledgeable than me, I'd really appreciate your comments. But only other thing other than those two, gonna go ahead, I got some spray. I'm gonna spray for the squash beetles. I seen some cutworm moths out here the other day. I killed all them, so hopefully we don't have issues with that. But right now, gonna probably spray some pesticides. I haven't had a big issue, like I said, but might as well go ahead and get that taken care of. Get them preventative measures in place before anything really bad sets in. Plant is looking pretty healthy to me. Got to order some more fertilizer. Been using enough that I about ran out of my current stock, so we'll be laying the fertilizer to it, not too hard. Don't want that thing to split open, but we should probably see some growth in the coming weeks, and so just stay tuned, like and subscribe so that you can keep getting updates on this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.